All right, here we go. Okay. First of all, guys, thank you for hopping on. I don't know, I'm curious, who has made a business plan this year, but maybe just isn't so sure of it, or could use the extra planning, or who is just really obsessively always recommitting to goals and rethinking through and hopping on calls like this to learn more. I'm curious where you guys are at in the process of that.
I'd say constantly recommitting.
Yeah, I'm one of those people too. Like, I will listen. Sometimes hearing someone else's goals and ideas triggers something in me that makes me go, oh, why didn't I ever think of this before? And it's completely opposite of anything that they actually said. It just triggers something in you. And so many of us just get so busy in the day to day. It's incredible to me. Like, I always have 20 minutes to scroll Instagram before bed. But how rarely do I actually feel like I have 20 minutes to work on my business and just really set aside the time? And so just committing to this amount of time to really focus in on our goals, write them down, pen to paper. In the invite, I said, only 80% of people set goals. And then it was, what was it? Less than 10% of them actually go, no, less than 4% actually write the goals down, and less than 1% actually go back and look to see if they've accomplished their goals. That stat really resonated with me this year because every year we set goals, and honestly, I know what the goal is, but all of a sudden something falls short, life changes, I had a baby, whatever, and I never really go back to those goals. So this year I actually made a binder, my goals binder, and I printed off every set of goals and business plan I've done since I think the most early one I found was 2018. You know what's really cool about looking back at your goals in 2018? I can't even, like, 2018, Allison didn't even dream of creating the business that we have today. And so to see that not only did we well surpass our goals, but 2018 Allison couldn't even dream of what we would dream of today is really cool, and really gives you the momentum of like, holy crap, I just have to keep doing what I know how to do, and this is all gonna work out. So if you do take away one thing today, take all of those goals, all of those notes, put them in one place that every 90 days or once a quarter or twice a year, whatever works for you, that you can go back and revisit, or just look back and go, wow, I can't believe we broke that. So some of you have probably done similar exercises to this before, but my plan today is to really go through and start with where we're at now, really honestly and truly to ourselves, where we want to be, and then how we actually get there. I think it's really easy to set goals, but if we have no plan of how we're going to get there, we end up setting the same goals every single year because we couldn't really execute to get to them. How many people have done this exercise before that you're looking at in front of you? Anybody? Brooke? No? Oh, okay, great. I thought everyone was gonna be like, oh, I've totally done this same worksheet before. All right, so we're gonna start off with, can I have mine? We're gonna start off on this sheet, and we're just gonna take a couple minutes right off the bat, and we're gonna just list out, if you've got this printed off, great. If not, just do it on a piece of notebook paper. And you can refer back to the print offs. We're just gonna go through and we're gonna write down where you're at now, where's your biggest struggle, and then give yourself a ranking from 1 to 10. Also, let's not be self-deprecating. I love when people put that they're like a 2. You're not a 2 at anything, or you probably wouldn't be on this call talking about your goals. Let's be positive, let's believe in ourselves, and just be aware and self-critical, but we don't have to tell ourselves we suck either. That's definitely not the point. Hi, Lucy, it's been amazing. Oh my goodness. So
We'll
fun.
see how this goes.
I love it. Look at that. Oh, the little infant that when they can just snuggle in is just the best thing. Sawyer now would be like hitting me in the face, and none of this would be a thing right now.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Oh, all right, Lizzie, we're spending just a couple minutes to start going through this worksheet, and on a notebook paper or whatever you've got in front of you, writing down your 2 things that you're struggling with in each area, and then ranking yourself in that category in each area. So I'm just gonna go through some examples just to get your brain working a little bit. Work. Are you hitting your numbers? Are you disorganized? Do you have a team? Do you want a team? Do you need a team? Is your team doing what you want them to be doing? Are you time blocked? Are you efficient with your time? Are you working the right business hours that you want to be working? Or are you a new mom and feel like you've got no balance right now? Money. Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have a plan? Do you talk about money in your house? Are you and your spouse on the same page about money? Are you saving enough money? Your love life. If you're married, do you weird that I wrote alone time? Oh, with my spouse. I was like, why would I write alone time for love life with my spouse? Okay. It's like, clearly I was in a mood when I wrote this down. Not alone time for just me and Terry. Do you and your spouse just get time together? Are you guys good communicators? Do you dream the same dreams? You know each other's dreams? Are you aligned in your goals? Family. Do you have enough quality time? Do you get dinners together? Spirituality, whatever that looks like for you, is a goal of yours to go to church? Do you not go to church? Do you have no spirituality and you maybe want some? Friends. I think as we all get older, it's harder and harder to see friends. Do you ever get to see your friends? Do you not get to see them enough? Are you bad at staying in touch? One of my things is sometimes I'm bad at staying in touch, and then I feel really out of the loop when I do see people and they've all done happy hours and park play dates and things like that without me. And I'm like, what? Why are you guys all having fun without me? And then self, are you taking the best care of yourself? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating healthy? Are you slacking on doing your annual checkup with your doctor? Have you been to the dentist? Anything that comes to mind in this portion, I'll give you guys just a minute or so to work on that portion of it. And the goal is really not to overthink it. These things should come pretty off the cuff in your mind of just, yep, this stands out to me as something that I really want to work on. I think sometimes when we dig too much and find these little minuscule things that we don't like, they don't really mean enough to us. So we don't actually change or fix them. We write them down as something that sounds nice to do and we don't care enough. And I know we have a few lenders on here but mostly agents, which is fun. To just kind of have both sides of it. Mostly because what's so similar about our industries is that the sky is the limit. Like no one in any of these things we work through and as we make a plan, no one gave anyone their start here, right? Like this isn't a business where your parents can hand you a company or you're a trust fund baby, so you get a leg up over somebody else. That's not how it is. I'm from a small town in Wisconsin, and when I went to college, all of my girlfriends from the University of Minnesota, half of them never had to work a day in college. They had everything paid for. They had their parents' credit card. And you kind of get this feeling like the rest of your life is going to be like that. And then I found this industry where it's literally the opposite of that. No one cares who your parents are. No one cares what your pedigree is. No one cares where you came from. No one cares about anything else. All people care about is if you work hard and the sky is the limit. You get to be your own boss and no one's putting you on a comp plan that's limiting you. No one's pegging a salary on your head that limits you. You wake up every single day and decide this level of success and payment that you want to get. And I literally can't think of anything else that you don't have to be the smartest person in the world with a great idea or a trust fund baby to accomplish. So it's very special that we all get to be in this. Does anyone want to share any of their things they wrote down that they're struggling with?
I can go, Allison. This is Kim.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I put was self, that I'm just not taking good care of myself right now. So one of my goals is to increase just movement and activity. So I hurt my back a while ago. So I'm just trying to get that movement so I can repair that and get stronger and then sleep. I'm not sleeping well. So those are two areas in self that I feel like I really need to work on, because I think it just manifests itself into other things. So if you can work on self and health and mental well-being, it will improve all other areas of your life.
That's awesome. Anyone else want to share?
I'll share, Allison.
Yes.
I would say for me, it's now navigating an unpredictable work career with a 3-month-old and trying to figure out how to do both.
And I think one thing as we continue this exercise that's really important is I think the idea, and you'll hear other people say this, you know, you'll find hundreds and thousands of podcasts out there that say like work-life balance and this and that. And the reality is, I don't think that's reality, right? But you're gonna go through seasons of your life where something is gonna have to take the short stick. For me, right now, I have a 6-month-old baby at home. I have huge goals in my career that I want to hit this year and continue to have momentum on. My friends might take a little bit of a backseat. 3 months ago, when I set my intentions for 2024, one of my goals was to go on 3 girls trips. I started doing my calendar. If you see on Instagram, people are doing those giant calendars. I just started like scrolling on my phone to find one weekend to go on a girls trip. It doesn't exist. I won't get to go on a girls trip. That is going to be the short straw of my life. I'm not going to be this person. It's not going to fit in. And sometimes you have to be okay with that. But just acknowledging it and saying, you guys, I'm really sorry. It's just not going to fit this year. Took 1,000,000 pounds off my shoulder versus waiting until 40 days before the trip and being like, yeah, I'm still the gift of life. Yeah, I don't want to miss out. No, just say it. And hopefully if you're sharing your goals with other people, they'll kind of meet you where you're at, or they'll understand at least where you're coming from. And so Lizzie, for you, it's probably just a matter of like, it's just not, it literally, you're living, breathing, it cannot all happen, right? You just, something skids at some point, you go, okay, this is what it is today. Okay, so now we're gonna go to this next sheet and putting them side by side. What are tactical things for each of these issues that you can work on that are SMART goals? If you don't know what a SMART goal is, it means a tangible, measurable goal that you can achieve that's very specific, that you can say, yes, I've done this, no, I haven't, to fix or work on something. So for me, one of mine was with the friends. It was just, I have a list of people now on my phone. I'm gonna be way more intentional. Just, I'm in between meetings, I'm gonna call a friend and say hi. I can talk to them for 20 minutes on the phone instead of trying to find a night to grab girls happy hour. It's probably just not in the cards for me right now. When I do it, I feel run down, I feel burnt out. I'm not having fun when I'm there. I'm bummed that I'm not with my kid. It's not a win for me. So a phone call is what it is for me right now, and sticking to that and committing to it and tracking it makes me feel better. If work for me, it's time blocking. I'll go through phases where I'm like super narrowed in and time blocked. And then all of a sudden a week happens. We're going on vacation tomorrow morning. I don't know what happened this week, but there's been no time block. It's like surviving every moment. And inevitably, when you let that happen to yourself, all of a sudden I don't have lunches packed for the week. So then I was late earlier because I had to stop and find food somewhere, right? All of these things start to slip when you just veer from being time blocked, organized, planned out. Maybe it's finding an accountability partner. I'm curious, actually, after saying that, I know there's a lot of groups or like things for agents. Do any of you have an accountability partner? I've thought about starting accountability groups or a true mastermind group where we get back, we start our plan here, and then next month, same day and time, we get together and go, have you actually looked at these goals again? Are you on it? Would that be helpful, or do you think you get bombarded with a lot of that already? And my feelings aren't hurt if the answer is it wouldn't be helpful.
I think that would be helpful, Allison.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
Maybe something a little like quarterly
Quarterly?
or something in it. Yeah.
A month does sneak up on. My whole real life. Allison, that's awesome. I feel like some brokerages have it and agents don't plug into it. Some don't have it or they don't do it anymore because people stop showing up. Not everyone's accountability style is the same. I've been in coaching programs where I get so annoyed by how they try to hold me accountable that I end up just fibbing about what I did because I don't want to hear it. Which is totally not the point. Like, yeah, I did that. Yep, did that too. Great. Because you don't care what I say anyway. So why would I try and explain to you what I didn't do? My self things are Friday afternoon before you log off for the week is really making sure every loose end is wrapped up, not leaving anything left untouched. And then I always work a little bit on a Sunday night. And I want my Sunday night to really be a full prep for the week versus otherwise what happens is Sunday night ends up being catch up from Friday. And then Monday morning, I'm still prepping, but now I'm just in it. So I can't actually get ready for the week. And so it's really just taking those times that you have that end up being wasted time and making them really impactful. And then I haven't taken nearly enough time to read a book since I don't even know when. So that is one of my other goals, is just even if it's 30 minutes a week or twice a week to read after baby goes to bed instead of, I mean, I am like, there is not one Bravo episode I'm behind on, but yet I can't find time to read a book. So
That's on my list too.
I could shift that a little bit. Yeah, Haley?
I put 10 minutes in the morning. I've been trying to get up a little bit earlier, and instead of being on my phone or like listening to something while
Yeah,
I'm waking up, just like getting right into the book
Yeah.
that I have had sitting next to my bed for who knows how
some
long.
people like to journal in the morning. I think it's funny, like everyone thrives with different things. If I journal in the morning, I have so many thoughts that I am having a panic attack before 5:30 a.m. It's like very unhealthy for me to put pen to paper in the morning. So I don't do that. I'm a work router. If you guys don't know that, one of my things is, I literally plan my workout schedule in advance for the week, for the month, whatever I can, and I just kind of tweak accordingly. I'm having some weird knee pain lately, and so right now that looks for me like I just get up and I'm incline walking and then doing really light weights. But even if I'm doing pretty much nothing downstairs in my workout room, I know I have to get up and move. Sometimes that I am literally laying on the gym floor mat and I'm looking at my phone, but I'm up. I did my best, and sometimes that's all I got, but I did it and I kept to my routine. Anyone have any they want to share?
I put a,
Do you have any you want to share?
I don't know if somebody else was talking, if that was just you, Allison.
It was just me. Go ahead, Haley.
Okay. I just, one of my where are you nows is just like worrying about savings when I just need to put an action item into place. So actually setting up like a poll from every paycheck, which will take me 3 minutes to set up or less, but actually getting that done to see how it plays out.
So it's like you teed me up for it. Who else wants to share something? Anyone?
One of my financial goals for this year is to get organized. So creating a budget spreadsheet, knowing where my investments are, all that kind of stuff, just like figuring out how to put it into one place I can track.
In the email I sent all of you, there's 2 attachments. There's the PDFs and then there's an Excel spreadsheet. We're not gonna really dig through the Excel spreadsheet today, but I sent it because I think it's important. Like I recently had a conversation with my coach. So Allison, I don't know if you're married or not, but I'm married. My husband is the CFO of our household. I literally, which he's very good at it, he's better than I am. Even when I was single, I literally barely logged into my bank accounts, which is terrible. And so it's always this looming thing in the back of your head, like, do I have any money? What will my credit card bill be this month? And I recently just realized when I'm talking to my coach and she said, what did you save this month? I don't know. I don't, what do you mean? I don't look at that. That's not my job. That's his job. And it made me like go, wow, that's really shitty of me. Like, what an awful thing for me to just put it on you to manage everything, worry about everything and literally not even ask. And when I asked him the question, he's like, don't you log into the bank account? Don't even have logins. And I'm not kidding you guys. Like I completely opt out. My whole thing is like, I go to work, I try and make money, I do the best, I show up at home, I try to be the best mom I can, and I go to sleep. That's all I got in me. And so that's one thing I'm really working on is setting up a plan for that. But we're going on vacation tomorrow, and one of our goals to talk about on vacation is how we can put a plan in place where I can be a little bit more responsible on my portion of it without actually having to be overly involved in some of those pieces, because you don't want to both be doing the same things, but it's still really important that you know. And so in that Excel spreadsheet, we just filled that out at our house and we're gonna revisit it every single month to here's where our minimum numbers are at. Or our average numbers. So this is how much we need in our checking account to feel comfortable to sleep at night. And if we don't have that, then that's right. Like that's an easy number for me to watch and go, hey, I logged into the bank account and that number is not there. My husband probably feels stressed out, or maybe it's a conversation. Maybe I'm overspending, whatever that might be. You guys know me, I'm a shopper. Like if there's something to buy, I will buy it. So that's a tweak for me and a perfect pivot into what we're going to chat about next, because I heard someone recently say like, even if someone doesn't care about money, because there's plenty of people in the world who will say they don't care about money. Like the most hippy dippy, simplistic person who doesn't care about money. Do you think that person sleeps a little bit better if they have money though? Or they can lean more into being the most simplistic, carefree person in the world if they literally don't have a care in the world because they have money? At the end of the day, I can say I love mortgages all day long. I can say that Deborah loves showing homes and interiors and all of that all day long, but this is a job, right? Like we're all here to make money, and agents love to talk about gross commission income. I hear agents, it took me a while to even know what GCI was. I don't know, I'm embarrassed why it took me so long to ask, like, what is GCI? But everyone talks about GCI. What your GCI is at the end of the day that's great. It really doesn't matter. What are you actually bringing home to feed your family, to pay your mortgage, to put in your kid's 529 plan, to put in your 401k, to invest so that you don't have to go sell real estate for the rest of your life? That's, I think, where the real focus should be at. And what are we saving? Are we hitting our savings goals? Are we even making enough money to be able to hit our savings goals? And that's something that a lot of us just have no concept of where the numbers are even at. For the lenders on the call, everyone would be W-2'd. So we have a little different of a perspective. We don't have as much write-off ability as you would as a realtor. And so I think for a lender, it makes it a little easier to go, this is what I made. This is how much I saved, because it's more cut and dry. For an agent, that's where I think there's a lot of confusion because they don't really know their numbers. They are expensing a lot of things. And you kind of go, oh, well, I just expense everything, so my number looks lower than it is. But is that really true, or is that what it costs to run your business? And so I just want everyone to just take a minute and kind of, and you guys can spend more time on this after the fact, but just kind of look through like, do people on this call, do most people know what their survival number is? But this is what we need every single month for our house to keep running. Yeah. Some do, some don't. I didn't, not that long ago. I mean, when my husband and I got married, we went through my survival number and he made fun of me. He's like, that you wouldn't survive because all you paid was your mortgage and your cell phone bill. But that was like all I took time to pay attention. Like, I don't know. So it's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes no one's taken the time to really dig into these. And that's what's nice about the Excel spreadsheet is it can be a living, breathing document that you add to consistently. So take just a couple of minutes and kind of look through this and work through it line by line. And then in here, it starts breaking out, where are your sources of business? For realtors, I feel like everyone loves to just, oh, hold on, I'm going out of order. Never mind, just just go through a minute and do the numbers on this and then we'll go through this part, sorry. You know what's really cool on this too, as I was just looking through everybody that's on, we have some really young people on this and, Eric Peterson, you can probably attest. I mean, there's some girls on this call who are like, Brooke, how old are you? Brooke, are you 22 or are you 21?
I just turned 22.
Yeah, like how cool to be 22 years old and in this business, sky is the limit to be able to start saving, start making a plan at 22 versus you probably have so many friends, Eric, who have no idea how they're gonna retire and, or maybe not, but I think we
Yeah.
also see older people who have no plan.
Mhm.
And so I'm the old guy, that's what you're saying?
As soon as I started, I knew this was gonna backfire on me, but
No, that's fine. I totally appreciate it.
you're the wise one on the call.
Yeah, there you go. The 31 years her elder.
But it's awesome to be doing this now, and Brooke and I just had coffee last week, and I was like, this is so cool, like, I think the best thing you do is to start in something when you're young, because everything I had and the energy and the grit I had when I was young, I promise you, I don't have as much of it now as I did then. I might be more effective with my time now and have learned some lessons along the way. But I think so cool to just be working on these things and so committed to your goals so young. I love it.
It's
All
a
right,
great
moving-
opportunity for her to get coaching like this coming into the business where we didn't even have internet barely when I came into the business. So it's like, you know, if you would have had coaching that motivated you to get out and do the stuff. So for the old dog to try to learn new tricks right now, it is challenging. So to get that opportunity right out of the gate is truly a blessing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I met with Brooke and I left excited. I left so excited for her. I was like, this is great. This girl's gonna accomplish huge things. All right, if you guys aren't done with this, you can definitely finish up too, but kind of eye-opening when you go through it, isn't it? Okay. So. And then on top of this, I would recommend sitting down tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, whenever, and going through the budget worksheet. If you have a spouse, I would do it with your spouse. It is really important that everyone's on the same financial goals for sure. Okay, so obviously to be able to save the money, we need to make some money, right? We can't just, the money doesn't just grow on trees, and to save 20% of our income or 30% of our income, that sounds great, but what is the statistic? Like 70% of our country is living paycheck to paycheck. They're not, they just can't save the money. Like I said at the very beginning, we are in this amazing opportunity. The sky is the limit. You can wake up tomorrow and decide you're gonna work your tail off and change your life and go make $1 million in 2024. Literally, you could decide that. And so, and even if you fell 50% short and made $500,000 for yourself, you'd probably be able to save a whole heck of a lot more than the person who's salaried at Target or wherever, and they don't have that. So it's a truly a blessing to be in our industry, even though it doesn't always feel like it every day. Okay, so going through this is where I want us to start with the true business plan. A lot of times we start with where our numbers are going to be, and then we don't really get the plan to get there. So let's just kind of lay it all out first on where is your taxable income right now? How many units did you do last year? Do you have staff members? What are your current business expenses? Do you rent an office? Do you pay for a Zillow? Do you pay for a bus bench? Do you have a CRM system that's monthly? And then where are your sources of business from? Realtors love to say, all my business comes from Instagram. all my business comes from my sphere. Who in your sphere are those college friends? Are those your school parent friends? Is it people from your previous job and they all work at UHD and they've been a great referral source for you? What does that look like? If you're a lender, probably realtors, what percentage is past clients? Is it builders? Is it financial advisors? Whatever the case is, and just, even if you just start with a general percentage of what those numbers are. We had a big wake up a few years ago because most of our business, as you can imagine, is from realtors. But if realtors have a bad year, and I work with all women, like half the realtors I work with have a baby in 1 year, I'm not so well. So like, these people aren't going at the same speed they were at before, right? My business needed more diversity. We had to plug into builders. We're focusing on financial advisors. And doing this made me open my eyes and go, holy crap, if these 4 people decide they're gonna stop working, I'd literally be out of business. And so that was a big turning point for us too. So, and then where's your biggest weakness? You'll see so many realtors get out of the business to go take a salary position somewhere, working 40 hours a week at Target. Probably they make them work overtime and don't pay them, so 50 hours a week. And they haven't even actually truly worked 40 hours on a business for themselves. I mean, how many realtors I can say I'll call on any given day and they're not working because they have these crazy hours, so they feel like they're always working. And so instead of honing in and saying, these are gonna be my 40 hours a week that I'm working, and I'm gonna truly work these hours, they're very responsive and reactive, and they're reacting to a client saying they want a showing or whatever, and if they don't have that, they're kind of just not working. So they think they're probably working 40 hours a week, but they might not. And then what is your average net income on a deal, every unit you sell? And then savings, what your current hours are, average sales price. Like Lizzie, for me, I was realizing, and you've got some time, but the Fritz on here too with a new baby. I was trying to work from home with the nanny there, and I like, this doesn't work. I have to go to the office. Like I was just kind of doing all of the things and I was doing nothing really well. As where if I go to the office and I'm sitting here, I can't go flip the laundry. I can't unload the dishwasher. I can't go like lay on the ground for a minute between calls with Sawyer. And instead, those minutes I get a ton done because I'm at the office. And then when I come home, I get to be fully present with him. Most nights right now, past 5:30 to 7:30 when he goes to bed, I don't know where my phone is and I'm not going to touch it unless it's to play my baby playlist when we do bath time. Like I'm not looking at my phone for those hours. I already put in my hours today. I'm being present with him. That's my treat to myself when I've busted my butt all day.
I love that, Allison, because I feel like that's my biggest struggle right now, is trying to be all the things at the same time instead of like really blocking it out.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
And I would suggest just like you have to set work hours.
That makes sense.
And then on the next sheet, we're gonna go through, we're gonna say, where's it gonna be? What is your income gonna be for 2024? I always like to set this is my bare minimum expectation goal for myself, increase by 20%. And then this is my, Allison, you should be so freaking proud of yourself, dream goal number. And talking about, keeping the binder of past stuff. My dream, oh my gosh, you should be so proud of yourself number from 2017 or 2018 was, we did 25 million more in production than that in 2023. And the worst mortgage year since 1992. So that's the power of setting the intention, creating the plan, and just doing the work. And I'm not like some genius, smart person by any means of the imagination. We're gonna go through some of my tactics and systems that I use to keep myself on track. Eric and Haley, they both worked with me previously at Novus. I am like the biggest slacker in the entire world. Half the time I hate going to conferences because everyone wants to talk about work and I hate talking about work. I'm like, I can do vacation pieces. Like, that's just how I am. I am not some person who's working 100 hours a week or anything like that. I'm very intentional. I create a plan. I show up for myself and my family by sticking to the plan, and that's it. And I don't waver from the plan. And then some of your new business sources. If you're a realtor on this call, maybe that's trying to find a builder partner. Maybe that's trying to focus more on listings and you're gonna reverse prospect in certain neighborhoods that you live in. Maybe you have kiddos who, heck, my I'm a mom group, crushing it with a new sphere of people who all had a kid and are gonna need a new house, right? Like whatever segment of life you're in, be able to lean into that to create more business for yourself, especially if it's a group that you love. And then what your hours will be, what your sales price will be. For a lot of people, it's just raising your average sales price. Maybe it's not creating more units. It's how do I elevate this purchase price so I'm not running myself ragged? We're really intentional about what kind of clients we work with. I like to find agents I really like because then they inevitably, probably 90% of the time attract clients that like them. And then when they refer them, that's a cleaner, easier, more enjoyable transaction for us all to work on. Like you will not find anyone who comes to my events or shows up on calls and things like that I wouldn't be happy to go have lunch with, right? Like that's, if I'm gonna do this and be really intentional and show up and be grateful to be here, I have to be working with people that I really like and I'm happy to help. Does anyone want to share where some of their new sources of business will come from or something that they're focusing on for 2024? Anything? One thing we're focusing on is financial advisors. I just got licensed to teach CE to financial advisors and CPAs. My goal is to teach a financial advisor CPA CE class once a month in different offices at a minimum, hopefully generate more clients so that I can give them back to my agents, or even bring an agent with me in as I'm teaching the CE, you know, let's bring lunch for the advisors, and we're a top of mind resource for anyone they talk to. And then builder business, I'm very excited about builder business. Guild has some incredible products around construction. I mean, they have builders that they close. I was on the call yesterday with this woman that's more on the commercial side where they're carrying all of the construction for full developments. And they have a builder in like Utah or something that just closed 1,400 units with them. That's insane to me. And that feels really exciting to try and find and work on. And even if I found it for 20 units, that's pretty freaking cool and would be life-changing for my family and I. And so to me, that's a really fun thing to go work on, like the financial advisor piece of it, and a new skill set and something. So I'm really excited about that. I think one key is if you don't actually want to go do what's on this piece of paper, don't write it down because you're just not going to do it. You have to actually want to go do it. We have
Something I'm working on for this year is to get a lot of, like, I guess, client facing systems in place. So it's a little bit more just like click and go on my end, but giving them the high quality touches that right now take a lot of my time. And I'm trying to figure out how to insert them into a system so that's just beyond email templates.
Inevitably that frees up your time so that you can go find more of different content. Focus on reverse prospecting that listing and be picking up 2 more listings in the same neighborhood or whatever the case may be. I create like if you're going through, I would recommend if you haven't done a time block for yourself, creating an ideal week. So what we do on our calendar is on my calendar, no one does it with me, but, I block off, here's where I'm gonna make my calls. Right now, I'm getting on a call every single day called a daily hustle with other loan officers at Guild, and we literally talk through what we're gonna say, who we're calling, what we're doing. We turn off, we mute ourselves, we turn off our stuff, and we just hit the phone, and you can see everyone else is also calling for an hour. And then there's accountability. Like the other day, I was still on the call when it hung up, and I got off the call, and the girl running the call texted me, and she said, "You didn't report your numbers." I said, okay, sorry, let me go back and go. But that's good for me, because you know what else I'll do? I'll just call like the 2 realtors I talk to every day who are actually just my best friends at this point. And I'm gonna, okay, prospecting today. That's not legit. That's not gonna hit my goals. I gotta call them on a Sunday if I want to girl chat for an hour. So yeah, creating yourself a time block, you know, in here I have, on my time block, I have when I'm gonna talk with new clients, when I want to do Zooms. I know if I'm on, when I'm on, I'm good. Like if I'm in the mood, I'm grateful and I'm focused and I'm doing all the things I'm to take care of myself, and I get on a client Zoom, no chance in hell is that client not working, right? Like I am on, I do the presentation, I show up different than 99.9% of loan officers, and I know that. And so if I just do that 100% of the time, we convert so much better. So part of that is making sure it's in my day at the right time. If someone hits me with an 8 a.m. Zoom and I'm frantic because kids are still getting out the door to school and whatever, I'm probably not going to show up the same as if it's my time block. And then I also know when I'm on, like after this, I'll be all wound up. That's a great time to make calls, right? And so I take rhythm in my day. To do this from total cold energy is a lot harder and feels a little bit weird. When I do my pre-approvals, I stack them. So sometimes I'll do 4 or 5 in a row. My voice hurts after, and I probably sound like a crazy person after a little bit, but it gives me the energy and the momentum. Maybe Tuesdays is listing appointment day for you. Maybe Wednesdays is busy work day, whatever that looks like, but just having a goal of what you want your calendar to look like and just have it blanketed on there for you to see it. And I'm such a mental state person. So if I have a pre-approval meeting at 3 o'clock today and Shannon on my team calls me at 2:55 and is like, we have this file that's blowing up and so-and-so hates us and blah, blah, blah. I suck on the call. Someone doesn't like us, someone's upset, someone's mad about their mortgage insurance premium and I have no control over it anyways. That's bad vibes, right? And so I have to be really clear with my team about what I need and how I need to be communicated with too. No different than the role reverse. If you have staff on your team or you work with other people as part of a group, you know what really pisses off Shannon on my team? When I get off of a coach call or something and she's in the middle of working on 5 new files and I'm like, so I think we should double our business this year and I think we should hire 3 people and we're gonna do that, and I can just hear her just shut down because that's so unfair. She's in the middle of her zone too. I have to set a meeting to do that. And sometimes if it's just you, set a meeting with yourself to focus on those things. Don't let them interrupt your day so that you can keep your own time blocked and respect your own time. Okay, this to me is the fun piece of all of this. How in the heck are we going to get to these numbers, right? It's really easy to set the numbers, say how many units we're going to do. Where are these units going to come from? Where are these leads going to come from? Who here tracks every single lead they get? Hallie, you do? Haley, I know Haley does because she's got my form. Eric does, I'm sure he uses the same form. I track every single lead, the date it came, who referred it to us. If Deborah calls us and texts me and says, hey, I just gave so-and-so your information, I don't hear from them in 5 days, my system tells me, you didn't talk to them yet, text Deborah, hey, do you want us to reach out to them? Right? Like we are super intentional. For me, I know I need to get 16 leads a week for all of 2024 to hit my goals. I need to pre-approve 8 people a week. I need 5 purchasers a week. So everything else falls into place if the leads are there. So how are we going to get the leads is where we start. So this is just going through the first section of the year. I think it's really hard to plan out every single thing for the entire year up front. I think it's great to do an overview, but what works in Q1, if the market totally shifts and we're in a different market in Q3, might not work. So for me to say, I'm going to try and get all my realtors to this fun event in June, and then June comes and all of a sudden rates are low and everyone's in 100 multiple offers and every realtor is burnt and crabby. probably isn't gonna work for me to get them all to an event, or just seems like, gosh, do I even think about how they're feeling right now? Right? And so sometimes it's really nice to just segment it out, have goals for the year of what you want it to look like, have the big stuff marked out, but just what am I gonna focus on in Q1? It is a really easy thing to bite off and tap. Is it mailers? Is it my time block? Is it making my phone calls? How many people here really truly pick up the phone all the time? It's so easy to text our clients. I'm not gonna say their names, they'd be so mad at me. I was meeting with one of the top agents in the Twin Cities the other week, and you're talking through stuff, and she goes, I slide dial every client. When I have to call them, I just slide dial. I don't want them to pick the phone. We all try and cheat the system a little bit, right? Like, that's in human nature, what we do. And so maybe for you, it's no, I have to make sure I talk to every single client real time each week so that I can try and ask them for a referral to a coworker. So I can try and ask them if I can come do a lunch and learn after closing about first time home buying. So I can ask them who their financial advisor is, so I can meet with their advisor and hopefully get referrals from them. I put some ideas on, like I said on here, I need structure, because otherwise I'm a big flake who doesn't get their SHIT done. So Mondays, I call referral partners. I call people who are sending us business. The first thing I do every Monday morning, I call Paige Gibson. We do the most amount of units together. She probably, for sure we've talked over the weekend, but Monday morning I can be like, what do we got cooking? Who got an accepted offer? Who's trying to be flaky? How can I help? What do we got to do? I usually call her before 8 a.m. on Mondays. And then I work through calling, talking to every single person I know had written an offer that weekend, or sending them an email following up on those people. Tuesdays, we're sending out our Tuesday update emails, and I'm also calling and checking in with the clients. A lot of agents, I notice, they don't call their clients when they're in the process. They get them under contract and they ghost them. When your client is so excited to buy a house, when is the easiest time to call them? When they're under contract and so excited to close on their house, and they're telling everyone they know they're buying a new house. You know what's really easy for them to do? To tell everyone they know that they are working with Bree, and Bree is the best, and you've got to use Bree too when you buy your house. Wednesdays, checking with pre-approvals, people who are out looking. Thursdays, we do annual reviews every single month, forever and ever and ever. So every Thursday, I work through a chunk of those clients. Sometimes I'm a slacker the whole month, which means that last Thursday of the month, I have to call a lot of people to get through all my annual reviews. But so for January, we call through every person that called in the month of January, always. So they receive a free, like an email from us in advance with information about their house, what we have on file, blah, blah, blah. And I call them and I just say, hey, I just want to make sure this all looks right. Rates suck. You're probably not refinancing, but I still want you to know that I'm here and I'm a resource. How can I help? What do you have questions on? Blah, blah, blah. And half the time people don't answer, but you know what magically happens? Like a week later, I'll get a text message from a random number saying, hey, this is Ed. So-and-so just sent me your information. And magically, it's the person who just had a loan anniversary, right? You're just top of mind. So many of us only call because we think someone's ready to sell their house or someone needs to refinance. And then Friday, VIP day. So that's your financial advisors. Those are your divorce attorneys. Those are your influential people. For me right now, that's me calling, catching up with friends, because otherwise I don't find time to do it. And so that's my little bit of balance. I call my friend Laura, who's in her second trimester right now, and I ask her how she's feeling. I call my friend Kelly, who just relocated to Denver a few years ago, works for the Broncos, and ask how life is. And it's so fun to get to catch up with people. And that comes full circle always, but the intention is not to call and get business for me. I'm just calling because I want to stay in touch with people I care about. Then what are your habits of success that allow you to do all of this? And it's really, really hard to show up every single day with these big goals. I posted a video the other day, my mantra, and it's everywhere on every keyboard, on everything. There's sticky notes everywhere, in my bathroom at home, in my wallet. It says lights out. Every single day I'm showing up like it's game day. I mean it. I'm here. I had to give myself a pep talk before I got on a buyer Zoom last night. Like, oh, this sucks. I want to be hanging out with Sawyer and blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm so freaking grateful for this lead. This agent trusted me to send me their client. This client is so excited to buy a house and I need to match that gratitude when I get on this call and be so thankful to be here. That's a lot harder to do if I didn't sleep well the night before, if I didn't eat good, if I didn't work out, if you're a journal person, if you didn't journal, if I feel behind on everything else, it's a lot harder to show up in that headspace. So what can you do to create those structures and those routines so that you can show up every single day feeling your best? How many agents here have set work hours? Anybody? Or lenders? I think it's a little easier for a lender, but. I use Paige again because I talked to her a lot and she wouldn't be mad if I said this. So I talked to her the other day and she's like, I'm running myself ragged. I'm just like constantly in this go phase. She's not married. She doesn't have kids. So there's no balance of work-life balance. You just go a million miles a minute, right? So one thing she's trying to focus on is taking Mondays off. I don't work on Mondays. Like Monday is her day to go to the grocery store, to do her laundry, to catch up, to go see a friend, to go on a workout and let it take extra long and cuts at the gym, whatever that looks like. She's giving herself that. And then she's being really intentional about time blocking her hours. She hired an assistant last year. And so now all of a sudden, when you have someone working business hours, you have to show up and work business hours too. Otherwise you're paying someone and they're probably not doing anything, right? And so that's a big change, right? For people with young kids on the call, maybe that's part of it, is setting your business hours. Anyone want to share anything that they wrote down that they're going to work on, anything like that? Oh, cool, Becca. Becca just put a little note in the chat. One of her goals is to get in front of more real estate and she's one of a remodeling company. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share? Maybe not. Maybe you have a great harebrained idea and you don't want to share it with everybody. That's okay too. I used to keep everything I did really secret. And then I realized a few things. No one's going to do something exactly like I do it, one. And then 98% of the people are actually just never going to do any of the things they say they're going to do anyways. So I can share all I want and they probably won't actually take it and copy it. And when they do copy it, I'm like, that person's a badass. I want them to come work with me. I want more of that energy and other people who are coming up with great ideas and want to, stand in our support too. All right, and this is just the second page of kind of this brain dump sheet. I realize I'm running a little bit behind schedule here. Has anyone ever seen this sheet before? Ellie, you have? Haley, I know you have. Okay, so I do a version of this sheet that's a little bit different. But this is from a coaching program that I've done, that I know a lot of people have done. A lot of people have seen, it's some version of this. I track everything I do. I have like part 2 binder. I got my goals binder. And by the way, I'm literally carrying these binders with me everywhere. And then I have my tracking binder. In my tracking binder, I have this tracker form and I fill it out. Every time I talk to someone, every time I see someone, every time we get a lead, every time we post a video at the end of the week, how much did we track? What did it convert? Every time I go to a leveraged event with 6+ people at it. And at the end of the day, I know if I filled this out and I did my best and the boxes are filled in, the business is going to come. I did the right thing. Momentum creates momentum. The phone will ring. I stuck to my plan. So this essentially is a breakout and a really easy tracker of your plan. If you don't have this, I'm happy to send you another version of it too, if you want to print it off. Everyone tracks in a different way, but this is just a really, really easy way for me to do it. I literally just have stacks on my desk. At the first day of every week, I print it off, or it's already printed. I pop it in the binder, write the date on this Monday on top. And there's some I literally will write, I suck. I don't know. I didn't do anything all week. I have no idea what happened, but I did nothing, right? We all have those weeks. But when you have a week where you filled it in, you feel really good about yourself, and it's enough for you to go do it again the next week. I also am a weird, like, I'm like a child this way. Like, if I think I'm gonna get a reward for doing my work, I'll do it. And that's silly and ridiculous. But for me, it's like, if I get all of my stuff done on then on Friday, I get to be done early. And maybe that means going on a walk and it's sunny out with Sawyer. And I'll literally leave my phone at home, or I'll put it on Do Not Disturb so I can listen to my podcast. That's enough for me. Or it means if I hit my goals for 1 month, I'm having a big shopping day. That is enough for me to bust my butt to go do the things. Some people, like, I'm a short-term goal person. I need that instant gratification. I need to know what I'm gonna get if I show up and do these things. Of course, the long-term goals of saving for your kids' college fund and all of those things are great too, but they just sometimes don't resonate as much in the moment. You can feel like I can save tomorrow for college. They'd be 6 months old. But hey, I get this tomorrow if I make my 20 phone calls. I think that's awesome. So that works for me. Does anyone have any like little cheats that they have to do that work for them? Kim, what about you? Do you have anything where you're like, I have to do this or I won't do all my stuff?
Yeah, I've just been setting my goals, and one of the things that I was holding myself accountable was to, how many appointments and meetups I had with agents, and my goal was literally to go get a facial. So I haven't had one for a while, and I was like, it's a little goal,
Yes.
but it's gonna make a difference. So
That would do it. That would do it for me. Yes.
yeah.
All right. I included some scripts in here. We're not gonna go through all of these. I know you guys get tons of scripting stuff, but sometimes it's just nice to see different things. I'm not a really scripty person because it feels a little cringy to me. And then when I say that, then it's funny because everything I say is the exact same thing. Every pre-approval meeting, I say the exact same thing. So what is a script? It's just your own script. So sometimes I like to read a different script. I copy and pasted this from my coaching stuff. And I like to read someone else's script and go, oh, this is what I can say to make it my own. What's funny about a lot of scripts is I feel like they were written by dudes like 20 years ago and we're all supposed to just say the same thing as them every time. I probably, that doesn't sound like me, right? Like I got to show up as me. People like me for me. And so I have to sound like it's coming from Allison or it seems really uncomfortable and awkward. But sometimes it's just nice if you're like, I don't even know what to call and say to someone. So here's some examples. Like I probably am not going to call one of my favorite people and say, here's why you're one of my favorite people. I will say though, I did write a lot of my friends cards at the end of the year about like how much them supporting my business and always cheering me on means to me. And then like sometimes you don't say thank you because it's your bestie and you're like, yeah, of course they're gonna share my post, whatever. And they all called me and they were like, wow, that was really thoughtful of you. I'm like, yes, I got it all out on a piece of paper. I sent it, we're good. But sometimes you don't have those conversations with the people closest to you and they don't even know how much it means to you for them to support you, right? One more thing on scripting. I did hear one script recently that I actually thought was good. And it was going to someone who maybe we're just gonna role play it. I could go to Deborah and be like, Deborah, I know we've known each other for a while, but can we start over? Like we met, we've done some deals together, but we're clearly not doing every single deal together. I don't know why. Maybe I sucked then. Maybe I'm better now. Maybe you're in a different place, but can we start over? And I think to have that conversation with people is okay. We have a lot of realtors that we've worked with once here and once there, and that's it. And maybe there's a reason. Maybe they love their other lender, and that's totally fine too. But if your goal is to be really, really intentional with your referral partners, then you got to know who your actual referral partners are. So many of us have lists of people who we think refer us business, and if you actually look at your numbers, they're not referring you anything. You're just talking to them to make yourself feel good, right? And for realtors, I think a lot of them have no idea who their top referrers are. Especially if you're not truly tracking your leads and where they came from, and you're just saying Spear. Well, is your new mom group sending you business, or is it all your college best friends? Is it your husband's work colleagues that are sending you business, or it is your old job? Where should you be leaning into more to get more of that business? And is there a place for a conversation? I think a lot of us are very, very scared to have just very clear, concise, bold conversations with people. I heard someone call it recently being a hey girl. I was a hey girl. I would go to places, I'd show up all the networking events. I'm really nice to everybody. I would just think that if I just showed up everywhere and had a smile on my face, the business was just gonna fall into my lap. And it was, it was not the case. I was just running myself ragged and going to a lot of events that amounted to nothing. I'm far more impactful having a one-on-one meeting with someone, even if it's only over Zoom, and then being at my office, just working, having conversations and going really deep with their clients. And so whatever that takes for you, but you have to know what it takes and what's working for you. And the biggest piece of that is tracking. Here's an example of theme days for realtors. Like I said mine earlier, on Mondays, you can call your top VIP clients. Tuesdays, you could be calling your current clients and updating them. Wednesday, you can be following up on any leads. Thursday, your database, your sphere, those other people who are referring you who aren't maybe your VIPs. Friday, more community influential people. In our CRM, we tag every single person who owns a business, is in sales, talks to a lot of people as a VIP. So if I need to make, if I'm not at 16 leads and I need to generate some leads, I gotta start calling those people because they probably know the most amount of people, right? Saturdays, open houses. Does anyone do this now where they time block their days? Or do theme days? Deborah, yeah. I think even if you just take 45 minutes, I used to try and do 2 hours of time block. I'm not gonna call people for 2 hours. And so then I just don't do it at all, which is so dumb. Like, just do it for 30 minutes, do it for 45 minutes. It doesn't have to be half your day, half your life. And then we created this. This is kind of the goal in this whole thing. And if anyone wants to try and stay accountable to this, I would love to set up another follow-up and maybe get some other people involved and see who was able to complete this 100 days of greatness. So we could start it. So we literally laid it all out, foolproof, nothing else you have to do. You could literally start on Monday and do each one of these things, which are pretty simple time things. It's not like a whole day. It's not anything crazy, and go through it and just check off each single day of what you got done for 100 days. And let's see where we're at after the 100 days. So build your client list. I mean, so many people don't even have a VIP client list. Sometimes I have a VIP client list and I go to look at it and make the phone calls and I'm like, what in the hell? I don't even like some of these people and they obviously don't like me because they never call me back. I need a new VIP client list. Call, text 5 leads from your sphere. Easy. That would take you 10 minutes, but how many of us are probably actually not doing that right now? And so this just goes through and gives you an activity every single day, besides Sundays, for 100 days. And this is in everyone's packet that I sent out. Work an open house or call, text 3 people, right? Just it's all very simple 10-minute tasks that you could literally do in your car in between meetings. All the way, when does it end? May, so that's 100 days. What do we think? Does everyone want to try and do it? And then we circle back after 100 days? Yeah, Kim?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. I'll try and see if we can rally a couple more people to join us, and I'll do like check-ins along the way.
Allison, I don't think this one was in my packet. Mine ended at the tracking sheet, unless
Yeah.
I'm.
Same here.
Oh yeah, I think I didn't include it because I didn't want people to steal it if they weren't on the call. Sometimes people sign up for our stuff and then they're just taking it and running with it.
That's fine.
I'll send it out to everybody as soon as we're off the call.
Okay.
Was this helpful, you guys? I know I went a little over on time.
Yeah. it was great.
Very
Yes.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna put on my calendar, I'm gonna do a 45-day check-in on this 100 days of greatness. I'm gonna get it to everyone in the next hour. And I think just like, don't be afraid. Also, I love this type of conversation. If you ever find yourself on a random Tuesday feeling totally stuck and need some advice or need to brainstorm something, I live for this stuff. This to me is what makes my job fun. I promise you it is not looking at tax returns or bank statements. I actually am quite awful at that skill. So this is what makes my job fun. This is what I like to do. So please like save my cell phone number as your I need someone to cheer me up and give me a good idea contact, because I would love to be that person for you. Also, my other homework assignment for you that made a huge difference for me. Last year, I made a list in my phone. I love notes, my notes section of my phone. That's where I save my friends I'm gonna call that you kind of forget about because you always call the same 3 people, whatever. I put them in there. Oh, I should keep better contact with them. I put them in there. So I look at the list, I go, yes, I need to call so-and-so. It's been a month. I put in there things that instantly make me feel better that I can do in 5 minutes. Going outside for 5 minutes and walking around the block, I will feel like a brand new person. It doesn't matter what else. If I go and get an overpriced coffee from pretty much anywhere in the world, I go get a latte, I am a brand new girl, right? I feel totally better. That's all I need. Think of those few things that are for you and have your things. And I have a couple affirmations in there and a couple of things about my goals. And just grounding and looking at that all over again and going, why in the hell am I doing this? The days that it sucks, why am I doing this? And also, don't be afraid to put boundaries. We have a client right now, we've been working with them for 1.5 years. And I was like, I don't even know, why am I still having this conversation with them? Why am I spending all of my good energy on this client who doesn't appreciate it? At this point, I need to say, you know what? If you want to work with someone else, it's totally fine. Let me actually refer you to somebody. And have boundaries and have the respect for yourself. So many of us in this business let ourselves get walked all over. And I think that with commissions and everything else in play, I think sometimes it's, maybe they don't think about it, but in my head, sometimes I think, do they think I'm making like $30,000 and that's why I have to talk to them at 9 o'clock at night for an hour instead of being with my kid? Because by the time it's all said and done, I'm going to make probably $3,000 on this transaction, which is $1,500 after taxes. And the amount of hours I spent on it, I could work at Dairy Queen for the same amount of money. Like this is not worth me sacrificing. And that client who treats you that way, you guys, they are not going to send you their friends and family. They are not going to rave about you to their coworkers. They just aren't going to do it. Don't be afraid to put boundaries in place for yourself. And as soon as you do that, you will instantly have the time and the energy and the positivity to do the 100 days of greatness, to send off the text, to think bigger, to not be afraid to reach out to that person because you don't have that one crabby client sucking the life out of you every day. All right, I'm gonna send the 100 days of greatness in 2 seconds. And I'm gonna do a 45-day check-in with everyone who's on this call and see how it's going. And then we're gonna schedule another one of these at the end of the 100 days of greatness, and we can all share our results. When we fell off the wagon, did we cheat? Did we skip any days? Did we do any days twice? Did you double down on the days? What were your results? All that good stuff. Yeah? Okay, fabulous. Well, you guys, thank you for taking the time to hop on today. I'm going to learn just how do I stop recording. And hopefully we'll all be chatting soon. Does anyone have any last minute questions? Good. Awesome. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Everyone have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.